Snowflakes drifted lazily through the gray December sky as Thomas Whitmore stepped out of the glass doors of Reynolds Industries. The wind nipped at his face, tugging at the hem of his charcoal overcoat. At 42, Thomas had everything most people dreamed of: wealth, success, and power. But none of it felt the same anymore. Beside him, his 7-year-old daughter, Mia, giggled as she tried to catch snowflakes on her tongue, her curls peeking out from beneath a white knitted beanie. "Daddy," she said suddenly, her small voice breaking through the quiet hum of the city. "Remember what you promised Mommy?" Thomas paused. The question hit like a snowball to the chest. He could still hear Rebecca's frail voice from her hospital bed 8 months ago, her final wish before cancer took her away. "Help someone who needs it more than we do," she had whispered. "Teach Mia that kindness is the truest form of wealth." Thomas looked down at his daughter and smiled softly. "I remember, sweetheart. I just haven't found the right moment yet." He didn't know that moment was waiting for them, just ahead beneath the snow-covered pines of Riverside Park. As they walked through the park toward their favorite bakery, Mia suddenly stopped. "Daddy, look!" she whispered, pointing toward a bench half hidden beneath the snow. A young woman sat there, wrapped in a thin gray cardigan, cradling a newborn baby. Her shoulders trembled, and Thomas couldn't tell if it was from the cold or from crying. "Daddy, her baby's freezing," Mia said, her eyes wide with worry. "We have to help them." Thomas hesitated for a moment. His corporate instincts told him to stay cautious, to keep moving, but then he saw the fear in the young woman's eyes and the compassion in his daughter's. He could almost hear Rebecca's voice again. "This is the moment." "Stay close to me," he said softly as they approached. The young woman looked up, startled. Her name was Claire, though he didn't know that yet. She was pale and exhausted, her arms clutching the baby with quiet desperation. "Are you all right?" Thomas asked gently. Claire tightened her hold on the child. "We're fine," she whispered. "Just waiting for the bus." Mia tilted her head, her innocent voice cutting through the tension. "There's no bus stop here. And your baby looks really cold. My daddy has a warm car." Thomas knelt in front of the bench. "I'm Thomas, and this is my daughter Mia. It's freezing out here. Please let us help." Claire studied his face for a moment. She saw sincerity and warmth, not pity. "I'm Claire," she said finally, her voice trembling. "And this is Lily. She's 2 weeks old." Mia's eyes lit up. "She's so tiny." Thomas smiled softly and removed his red wool scarf, wrapping it gently around the baby. "There's a family center not far from here," he said. "We can take you there." Claire shook her head sadly. "I called them this morning. They're full until after New Year's." Thomas nodded firmly. "Then we'll find another way." "You're not staying out here." The walk to his car was slow, the snow crunching under their feet. Mia held Claire's hand as she chatted about school and stories her mother used to tell. In the warmth of the car, Thomas made call after call to shelters and social workers. Each time, the answer was the same: no space available. As he spoke, Claire began to tell her story. She'd been a nurse before giving birth, but complications during delivery drained her savings. Her boyfriend left soon after. With nowhere to go, she'd been living between shelters and bus stops. After the 6th failed call, Thomas took a breath and looked at her. "Claire, I have an idea, and please feel free to say no." She looked wary. "What kind of idea?" "Before my wife passed away," Thomas began softly, "she asked me to help someone who needed it more than we did. Our house has a guest suite that's been empty since then. You and Lily could stay there just until we find a long-term solution." Claire stared at him, stunned. "Why would you do that for strangers?" Thomas smiled faintly. "Because my wife believed that our blessings only matter when we share them. Everyone deserves a safe place to care for their family." Tears filled Claire's eyes. "I'm a nurse," she whispered. "I could work. Contribute somehow." "Contribution isn't required for kindness," Thomas said gently. "But I do serve on the board of the hospital where my wife was treated. They could use someone like you." Mia grinned. "And you could teach me how to take care of babies." For the first time in weeks, Claire laughed. A week later, Claire and baby Lily were settled into the guest suite. The baby slept soundly, warm and safe. Thomas helped Claire secure an interview at the hospital, and she was hired immediately. But something unexpected began to happen. Claire wasn't just a guest anymore. She was part of their days, now helping with dinner, laughing with Mia, bringing life back into a home that had long been quiet. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Claire smiled softly. I got the job. I start next month. Thomas looked up from his laptop. That's wonderful. I've also been looking at apartments, she said hesitantly. I should be able to afford one soon. Mia frowned. But what if you need help with the baby? What if Lily gets sick? Thomas felt a tug in his heart. He'd grown used to Claire's presence, the sound of Lily's soft coos, Claire's laughter mixing with Mia's joy. The house no longer felt empty. Claire, he said carefully, what if you didn't have to leave? What if you stayed not as a guest but as part of our family? Claire looked at him in disbelief. You mean live here? Mia jumped up. Yes. We can take care of Lily together, and you can read me bedtime stories when Daddy's busy. Claire's eyes filled with tears. Thomas, I can't accept charity. He shook his head gently. It's not charity. It's family. You'd help with the house, pay what you can, but more importantly, you'd be helping me keep a promise to my wife. Claire looked around the warm living room, at Mia playing with baby Lily, at the man whose kindness had changed her life. Are you sure? She whispered. Mia smiled up at her. Mommy always said families aren't just about blood. They're about people who choose to love each other. Outside, snow continued to fall softly over the city. Inside, four hearts found warmth not from the fireplace, but from something far greater: promises kept, kindness shared, and love freely given. Claire realized that sometimes the coldest, darkest days can lead to the warmest blessings. And in that home, surrounded by care and laughter, she found something she thought she'd lost forever: a family.